Chris, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Is Evan in San Francisco with the Mets?
Evan
like
is
sitting
not.
sitting in the bleachers, like taking his scorebook and scoring games.
He is in North Carolina with the scorebook.
Yeah.
And tonight at 9:45, he will have it out. He'll have a fancy drink that his wife picks out for him with her permission.
Sure.
Because that's how he rolls.
Sure.
And he will sit there and he will keep score of another Met loss.
Yeah, and will Jet be asleep or awake?
Asleep. Evan loves West Coast trips now that he's a father of young kids because his wife puts the kids to sleep, and he then gets the opportunity to sit there and watch games by himself, which is how he likes to do it.
Believe me, I worked with him a couple days.
Yes, you did.
He does like to work by himself.
Yes, I've busted his chops a million times on that. The story is that when you and he did a show together years ago, every single commercial break, he left the room. And you were acting governor. You're sitting governor at the time, pardon me.
Yeah.
And you're sitting in the room by yourself going, what the heck's going on?
All by myself during the entire commercials. And he'd come back in right before and not say anything.
Yeah.
Not even say like, I went to the men's room or, I had to make a phone call. You just come in, sit down, and we'd start working again.
He just awkwardly avoided all personal conversation with you.
Any personal interaction of any kind.
So a lot of people want to know now that you're here and you're not governor, if today's the day you utter the infamous words, Mets fans for Yankees.
Oh, there's no chance.
Huh? Is that not going to happen as your team flounders here in the second half?
Listen,
floundering?
Look, all of us over in Metland
yes.
are rightfully disappointed about the last couple of weeks.
Sure.
But you know what? Syndergaard's thrown to batters today.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get him back.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping. Hold on, hope for is Syndergaard
no
coming back?
Syndergaard. Look, no Syndergaard. Better than any pitcher the Yankees have other than Garrett Cole.
Listen, the Yankees are on fire right now.
I understand, and they stunk before people wanted to run Aaron Boone out of town on a rail.
Well, that
and Brian Cashman. Remember, we got to the All-Star break, people were talking about, Cashman being fired.
Yes. Well, that happens every year, right? If the Yankees aren't 20 games over 500, it's the same rhetoric. Like we are, although we as the fan base, which you're a part of for the Mets, are undefeated. We've never lost the game, right? The mob is undefeated, right?
Yep.
That being said, we are also, I hate to say this, predictable.
Well, it's Yankee fans like you, front runners.
Predictable.
Front runners.
I don't know.
Because I could just say when the Yankees were not doing very well.
Yes.
You were not, cracking the whip at the front of the bandwagon.
Oh, yes. I was not attacking Cashman. I said he's my guy. But I told Aaron Boone on this very show, your team lacks, soul. They were a soulless baseball team.
Do they have soul now?
Oh, they are. Now that we got Gallo and Rizzo, we got soul.
So that's what brought the soul?
You can't just invent it, Chris. It's that intangible it. You know what it is, right?
Yeah.
You've seen it over the teams
it's the
you've rooted for.
intangible it.
Yes. The Yankees have that now.
For now.
Yes.
For now. Like, who knows?
When will the Mets find that?
You know what? I think when they go to Dodger Stadium.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that, remember, 2015.
Yes.
We won that series in Dodger Stadium.
And all of a sudden things turned around.
Yeah, and then we were up to the World Series.
By the way, are you one of these guys that sits here now and says, like Noah Syndergaard said when the schedule changed and they had to play the Sunday night game before flying out to the West Coast and having to play, one of the top teams in the league, were you one of those guys that sat at home, going on Twitter bitching and moaning about MLB and ESPN? How dare they do that to us?
No, I don't do that, but I did think it was ridiculous. I mean, a team's got to go out there and play the first place San Francisco Giants.
Right.
They didn't get in until 5, 6 o'clock in the morning Eastern time.
Okay.
And then had to wind up playing at 10 o'clock that night Eastern time.
Right.
I mean, that's a little much to ask of even the little engine that could.
Yes. Well, they made the Dodgers do it too, by the way. The Dodgers had a home game yesterday also.
Not right. I mean, it was bad for both teams.
I'm always trying to think this. Like, as a Met fan right now.
Yes.
And listen, full disclosure, you've been a season ticket holder for a couple decades, right?
And I'm now on the Mets board of directors.
Right. So you have an intimate view of of the New York Met franchise right now.
Yep.
Is there a person that you could put the finger on, blame and point fingers at? Is what happened to your franchise?
No, I think it's been a problem. Listen, we did very well in the first half of the year because our pitching was outstanding, including DeGrom. We haven't had DeGrom since before the All-Star break. And so when you lose the best pitcher in baseball, that hurts. But the real problem this year is we just have not hit. It's large numbers of men left on base every night, and that's not just on one person.
Yeah.
That's on an entire lineup that just isn't getting, hits in key situations. And, look, the only guy who I think's been performing even near his norms is Alonso.
And Nimmo's been great this year.
Nimmo, look,
and he's become a much better defensive fielder, too.
And Nimmo, the difference with Nimmo is, though, that he's going beyond where he's been.
Right.
I mean, he's got a 420 on base percentage, and his on base percentage when he leads off an inning is over 500.
Right.
So I mean, Brandon Nimmo's been great, but
this is what
he hasn't played
to.
most of the season.
But this is when people said, "How come you picked the Yankees over the Mets this year?" It's for this exact moment. I saw it coming. I knew it was going to happen. And normally for the Mets, it's that first trip after the All-Star break when they go out west and they foobar the entire West Coast trip. Now it's just been a slow. It's almost like I don't want to say a slow death, but yeah.
Well, look,
it's like a slow bleed out. Like you got a little paper cut and you became a hemophiliac and you just slowly bled out.
Well, let me tell you. Well, first of all, we haven't bled out.
You're bleeding
yet.
out, though.
No. Look,
yes. You're 500.
There's a little cut.
Yeah, little cut.
A little cut.
Yeah.
And we've lost a little blood.
Yeah, a little blood.
But, we have a good blood bank here in New York. Everything's going to be fine. And now what I'll also say to you is that it really started at home the day before the All-Star break.
Okay.
When we lost that game, Diaz blew the save on the Sunday before the All-Star break against Pittsburgh. And then we went to Pittsburgh right after the All-Star break and lost games in manners that, including a grand slam walk-off home run for some guy who, for the life of me, you put a gun to my head right now. Right. I couldn't name the guy, but I don't feel badly because you put a gun to his mother's head. She couldn't name him.
She's not sure he's playing in the pros.
No.
It's like a Yankee loss. It's like a lot of those Yankee losses.
You know the old story, like a woman had two sons, and she never heard from either one of them. One went off to sea, and the other went to play for the Pirates.
There you go.
You never hear from them again. But I think that's when it really started for the Mets. They lost those Pirate games, and it really started to go downhill from there.
Well, listen, we got a lot to do today. The phone number to join is always 877-337-6666. There you go. The Yankees win again because it's what the Yankees do this time of year is just stockpile wins. It's another W on top of a W.
Until they play the Astros.
On top of the W. They've now gained 7, 8 games against the Red Sox in the last couple weeks. They're now tied in the loss column. Right? Well, the Red Sox haven't played well. But I don't worry about the other teams.
The Orioles have gained on the Red Sox, haven't they?
A lot of teams have gained on the Red Sox. The Mets are 500. They're 3.5 games behind the Braves right now.
3 in the loss column.
Phillies. 3 in the loss column.
Thank you.
And Rome is burning. And you couldn't even get your draft pick signed.
No, look,
I mean, it's crazy.
You know what it is?
The same. Mets.
No, it's just not. And let's not even go there because
is it not?
You and I will have a miserable 2 hours if you say it's the same old Mets. Because if you look at what happened this offseason.
Yes, good.
And the players the Mets added.
Yep.
And the fact that they signed Francisco Lindor to a $341 million contract.
Yeah.
That's not the same old Mets.
I think Lindor is the smartest guy in all of baseball. Because had he not put his signature on that contract when he did, he wouldn't get $341 now. After this year, right?
After this season, I think that's true.
Yeah. That is, you talk about a good business move and a good agent and a smart player. That guy might be the single smartest dude in all of baseball.
Well, and I do think that you're going to see, and we've seen this before in New York.
Yeah.
Guys come for their first year after a big contract. They have some problems.
Yeah, it happens. He's going to be here a long time.
Piazza didn't. When Piazza got traded here, he didn't do extraordinarily well.
He got booed.
Yeah.
In the first month he was
They
here.
signed him, and now his number is up on the stadium.
So let me ask you this. As you take stock of your favorite teams, are you more worried about the New York Mets over the last 50 games of the season trying to make the postseason, which is obviously still very much on the table? You never know.
Yep.
Or are you more worried that the New York Giants have clearly gotten better than the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, well, that's not even close to
Is that so? Which bothers you?
Do you guys
more?
still have Davy Jones
I'm a
playing
Jet
quarterback?
Fan. I'm a Jet fan.
The Giants have Davy Jones, right?
Yeah,
playing,
close.
Yeah.
He's played like Davy Jones.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yes.
Hey, we're the monkeys.
Exactly. You're not worried about the Cowboys at all.
I'm not worried about the Cowboys versus the Giants. I think that the team to worry about if you're the Cowboys is the Washington football team.
Really?
Yeah, they have a really good defense. And you watched, the other night, I watched a little bit of the Redskin game the other night.
Right.
They played the Patriots, I believe, and I'm telling you, That
So
defensive line
you're
looked
worried
really
about
good.
Washington. You're not worried about Danny Jones, Saquon Barkley,
Danny
the Giants.
Jones.
Yeah.
Saquon, I don't know if he's Saquon. When's he going to play?
Well, he's not going to play till week 1.
Well, look, he's a great player.
So you're
He's a
not
great
worried
player.
about
I like
the
him a lot,
Cowboys.
but I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the Cowboys losing to the Giants. If I'm worried about the Cowboys at all, and I always worry because let's face it, we haven't been in the Super Bowl since Super Bowl 30.
Right. And you're a fan, a legitimate diehard fan.
A huge fan.
Yeah.
And I think, we haven't been to the Super Bowl in, over 25 years. So I'm worried.
Got it.
But I'm not worried about the Giants.
You probably should be.
You really think so?
I do, and I'm not a Giant fan, so I have total objectivity when I say that.
You want to talk about that offensive line?
I think the Giants are the team to beat
in the
NFC East.
If Danny Jones can't throw from his rear end,
yes,
which I don't think he can.
Most guys can.
Right.
Mahomes maybe can.
Yeah, maybe. If Daniel Jones can't do that, then the Giants, that offensive line was 32nd in the NFL last year.
And before we take our first break and get the calls lined up here, tell people, what does Christie do these days that he's not governor? Not everyone follows the comings and goings like as I do. What do you do? What do you do?
I have a consulting firm. I'm on 5 different boards of directors across the country. I do commentary for ABC, mostly on Sundays with Rahm Emanuel on the Sunday show. And I'm coming out with a new book on November 16th.
What's the name of the book, and why wasn't I asked to write the forward to it? Because I wasn't, just for the record. I found out about the book through, I think the publisher put out a release. Christie has a new book, and I go, I was at his house yesterday. How do I not know he wrote a book?
I didn't know you read.
Fair point.
Okay.
That's a fair point.
It's called Republican Rescue.
Republican Rescue.
Yes. So that's what we'll be talking about.
Okay.
November 16th. I hope I'll be invited here.
Rescuing the Republic or rescuing the party?
Well, by rescuing, and the premise of the book is, by rescuing the party, you can rescue the Republic.
Got it. And when's the book come out?
November 16th.
If you'd like to come out here the day the book comes out, of course.
I would love to. I mean, if Evan's going to be here, I don't know if I'll be allowed to come in. But
well, the problem is that if I put you in a room with Evan, who loves politics.
He does.
That's not going to be fun for me. And I'm very selfish when it comes to what's fun for me.
You, Mr.
That's not fun
Mr.
for
Fun.
me. Yeah.
Why don't you have a little less fun, okay? Let's just have a little less fun, and we can talk about the book that day. Be good for you.
You got it. All right, so November 16th.
November 16th.
Right before Thanksgiving.
Correct.
Saving the Republic.
No,
Republican Rescue.
Republican Rescue.
Okay, I didn't hear it right the first time. Republican Rescue.
What's wrong with you?
Was that your title?
Well, it's always a collaborative
Collective?
effort. It's a collaborative effort.
I'm going to write that. Republican
Rescue.
Can you pre-order it now?
You can pre-order it on
Amazon and whatnot?
Sure, and all the other barsandnoble.com. Sure.
Would you like me to read it and give like a review that goes along with it? Like, hey, fantastic book, couldn't put it down. Craig Carton, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like a little blurb for the dust jacket?
Yes.
That might be really good coming from you.
You wrote a nice forward for my book.
I did.
Yeah. So perhaps you're going
to return the favor?
If you'd like me to review it, I have some time on my hands. I'd be happy. Not as much as I had a year ago.
Yeah, a year ago, you had a lot more time on your hands, I remember.
Read a lot of books, too.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to do that for you.
I sent you a bunch of books, as I remember.
You did. None of yours.
Well, no, that's selfish. Right? Here, you spend some time reading my book. You don't do that. I sent you a bunch of other books.
You did. You sent me a whole bunch of books.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a nice little thing.
I think that's how I found Eric Larson, because you sent me maybe Devil in the White City, perhaps, or one of his books. Or
and I also sent you The Splendid and the Vile,
which is a great book.
Yeah.
Really not my favorite of his books, but a very good book. Yes.
Yeah.
So you actually played a role in my reading.
I tried to.
But I would, like, if you were away.
I've always tried to be a positive influence in your life, Craig.
If you were away, I would have sent you my book.
That would have been a real help.
Don't you think? That
I might have killed myself if I had to read that book.
Like, don't you think, like, of all the books you sent me, and I'm a captive audience, I couldn't say no to the package when it comes.
That's true. It's coming. That's it.
You should have sent me your book.
No, I didn't want to do that.
No,
because
I'd hold it against you on a day like today.
Well, yes, but that wasn't really the motivation.
Yes.
I felt like a little humility.
Fair enough.
Don't send your own book.
Yeah, I guess so.
Send books that you've read and that you liked, or that you think your audience might like, meaning you. You were my audience.
One of the craziest things when I was away, arguably, like, Grisham's a big author when you're away. Eric Larson, for me, I read virtually every one of his books. I read the Killing series with Martin Dugard and Bill O'Reilly, which I thought were fantastically done. And then I remember I was sitting there. I'll never forget this moment when I was away. where you had once, I talked on the phone to him. I've never met him, but you and Harlan Coben, who are friends, both got into the Little League Hall of Fame together.
We did.
You're the same class in the Little League Hall of Fame.
Yep.
So I knew who he was. And I think once he came on one of our shows possibly, because I do have a distinct memory of talking to him.
Yep.
But I've never met the man. And I'm sitting there, and it never dawned on me that he happened to be an author. I just know Harlan Coben's your friend, and he's in the Little League Hall of Fame.
It has like
right?
16 consecutive #1 New York Times bestsellers.
And he's probably written 40 books. So I'm sitting there, and like every third bunk, some guy's reading a Harlan Coben book.
Great books.
And I go, there's no way there's two different Harlan Coben.
No way.
No way. So I emailed Chris and I said, and just out of curiosity, did Harlan Coben write? And I wrote the name. He goes, yeah, dummy, that's the guy you talk to. He's one of the most popular guys.
He is. And
fiction. He writes fiction.
And while you were on vacation, I sent you one of Harlan's books.
Yeah, I forget which one it was.
I think it might have been Gone for Good.
Maybe, but people love Harlan
Which was kind of
Coben.
hopeful for me. Like,
yes.
For you. I sent you Gone for Good.
Gone for Good. He's going to get out, but I hope I don't have to talk to him. All right, 877-337-6666.